Cash. Los Angeles. Rock and roll. My money.
When will they stop?
Well, now. Long Beach, clear skies.
And now, on with the show.
Clear skies. I don't think they've been around here this past week. Welcome to your weekend. This is KLBP's premiere show, Mornings on the Beach.
Yes, sir.
I just gave ourselves a new tag. My name is Danny Lemos, and today on the show, we're going to be getting baked with Snoop Dogg. How about that?
Sure.
Is that what you think? Stay right here. Don't tune away.
This is Mike Stark, and I'm ready to get baked with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, you're going to love it. All right.
Melanie Rae is also ready to get baked with Snoop Dogg, and I'm interested in the upcoming folk hero, Luigi Mangione.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and I've got a special connection that I want to draw today. So there's a lot going on the show today. And it kind of starts with that, I would imagine. If you're weak, if you've been paying attention to the news or anything on the news, you'll know that manhunt for this guy that shot the United Healthcare CEO when it was underway. Did you pay a lot of attention? Were you watching?
I didn't worry about the manhunt. I was more interested in the act, the response to his act,
which was amazing. Explain.
And very telling.
For those of you who were sleeping under a rock this week.
Right. So Luigi, who of course we all know from Nintendo in the 90s, murdered a CEO.
Yeah.
And what's been fascinating to me, of course I don't condone murder, however, what's been fascinating to me is how he's kind of become a folk hero.
Isn't that amazing?
Right? By writing things on the bullets, by publishing his, manifesto. And he's super cute, and people are responding to him.
Yeah, I was going to say, the hottie aspect is there as well.
It don't hoit. It don't hoit.
Yeah, but the thing is, it sort of draws a point for a lot of people about how they were feeling, right?
Well, left or right, red or blue, we are all getting screwed by medical insurance.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to unify people, and it feels very Guy Fawkes to me.
Isn't it interesting that suddenly he became this culture hero on social media because of that response that he had, and so many people were like, that's how they felt. And at the same time, we talked about this country getting a new president because the old president and his party didn't understand how the people were feeling.
Right.
So is there a chance for this to also be about, listen, you better listen to how the people are feeling. Now, that's not condoning what he did. That's not the way to make its point.
We're powerless in it, but we can sure observe it.
But he made a point.
Made a point,
that
and
you can't deny.
One of my favorite podcasts is Behind the Bastards, which is history about terrible people in history. Oh. And I follow him on Facebook, and they were sharing posts that people were posting when they had pictures of the actual Luigi, their friends or whatever.
Wow.
And they were saying, look at my friend who came to visit me on December 4th from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. And people are making like funny alibis for him.
Wow.
But lots of people, and it's interesting because I read a lot of history. And like the Federalist Papers in the old days, they were writing all these, to make their point. And now it's all meme culture. And people listen. And they've already reversed that decision about cutting anesthetics.
Isn't that something? Like within days.
That's not a coincidence. And I thought, that probably wasn't a good move.
Yeah. I was working for the doctors behind, the group that was of doctors behind wanting to promote single-payer healthcare here in California. The California Physicians Alliance, their legal name, and no fans of the insurance company.
Doctors don't like it either. No.
And the CEO, I believe, was his name, was his role there at Cigna, who was, if you'll remember, the young lady from Glendale who couldn't get her surgery approved, her transplant. And they denied her. Her and the community went up in arms, the Armenian community. And he finally decided, after all the push from the community on give this girl her transplant, to give her the transplant. She died the next morning.
Well, and these are services we're paying for.
Yeah.
So it's really an indication of the breakdown of social contract.
I agree. And speaking of that, where does that all start? So, and that, you just push my soapbox over here for a minute. I'm going to get on top of it.
Get up there, climb up.
So I read an article today about a new housing development that's going into the city of Long Beach. And it's going to be on the 4th, the north side of 4th, between Elm and Linden. Okay, there's an empty lot there, according to this article, and they're going to put in 97 units.
Is that by fingerprints?
No, it's a little this closer to Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
One block over from Atlantic. And I read that and I thought, that's great. More housing in LA and Long Beach. And they're going to make a few low-income units for really low income. But they're putting in, for 97 units, 17 parking spaces in downtown Long Beach.
Oh, come on, man.
So, and I'm one of those people, I'm impacted by it. I live in downtown Long Beach.
Yeah.
Sure.
There is double parking goes on. Now it's a regular event. Every night people double park because they're just frustrated.
Yeah.
Or they park in the handicap ramp. They just park right on it. They don't care. And it's just out of control.
Right.
So people get mad at me for bringing this point up over and over again. But to me, it begins the breakdown of the social contract.
Right.
Yeah. Starts with this stuff, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And if we can't control it, and I always bring it up to city council, I get the same answer, we're working on it.
And there's only so much people can take. And that frustration of coming home from work and having no place to put your car.
Because you think it might turn into a Luigi situation.
You know what?
Somebody's going to lose it.
I remember Columbine and looking at it, horrified and shocked.
Right.
And now we're supposed to accept that school shootings are just a way of life. So maybe this is as well.
I'm just thinking, if it takes that guy to make a difference.
There's always more guys.
And there's that threat. What will it take for people to lose their minds? For me, this morning, as I'm getting ready to the show, my neighbor calls me over and she's shaking at the front gate. Apparently she's outside having a cigarette. And this guy walks by, a little 4'2" tall man, who is menacing. He looks at her very menacingly, and she's aware, like, oh, I don't want to get away from him. He walks down the street, turns back around. She looks and he has a knife in his hand. And she instantly gets up and goes behind the gate. Then she calls a neighbor out. They go out to the front to confront the man. This time he has got his self exposed and waving the knife. And I'm thinking, that's just like a block, 4 blocks from here.
The police don't come to that kind of stuff often.
Here's the best part.
Oh, good, yeah.
So I'm in my car and I drive away, and they have just called the police to come to this crime, and I get to the corner of Orange and Broadway, and there is, the Broadway Donuts. Guess where 4 cops are together having donuts and coffee right there so I'm thinking, I go back to her and go, you know what? They'll be here probably after they get done with their coffee break. They did take, in their defense, they took a report, and we'll look at the video cameras and see what this guy was, and hopefully get him in some kind of program. For God's sake, this is a regular occurrence.
2 weeks ago, I had 2 women friends that were punched in the face by just irate, mentally ill men, and the police were called both times, and both times they discouraged them from taking a report.
Exactly. And it just drives me nuts. Again, where's the breaking point?
We're in it alone. That's how I feel. Protect yourself, protect your people.
Fantasies about how I would handle it if I was a vigilante. I always wanted to be a vigilante, and what I would do, I thought to correct the homeless problem, right? And somebody like that is out of their mind, right? I'm thinking, what would I do? My fantasies, this is the fantasy, really, this is for entertainment purposes only. A pea shooter with a little bit of, something on the end of it. Incapacitate them. And then go up and collect the pin and walk off.
Well, it's awful. They're suffering. We're suffering. It's bad for everybody.
It is. It's terrible. And when we're talking about improving the community, and that's where I spent most of this week talking to folks that are involved in making this a better place to live, they're all looking towards the future, and I commend them for it, right? But nobody's looking at what's existing here right now.
Absolutely.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't homeless programs, but why are we confronted daily by people who are out of their mind on the street of Long Beach? Something's got to happen. And I'm just saying, let's bring the city council person in here. Let's start with our complaints. And hopefully, if you're listening, that's your complaint too. I'm all about the homeless problem. I know it's important, and I think that's great. But this one about being able to walk in the street at night without getting
I live next to the Ralphs on 4th, and I don't even go at night anymore because it's, there's encampments wrapped all around it now.
Yeah, and that's like, there's also here at the pavilions, the backside of pavilions on Lime seems to be a place where you can camp now, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
The neighborhood's deteriorating, but that's one of those things. Please save us from this. How about some music?
Yeah, how about that?
Please, because it's so nuts. And this is what we're here. We're here to reflect the way most of the community feels, and hopefully you feel like us. That is so great.
Yeah, I love that.
So
Eddie
sweet.
Vedder and Harper Vedder right there, his
Right.
daughter. I go into my mailbox right before we do the show and look for the music that Mike submits, and every time I go, I love what I find because it's so different. I mean, and it fits our audience.
Yeah,
so
I try to change things up, much like we're doing here at the station with the overall
Absolutely.
music
and
mix.
And we're reaping the benefits. Hopefully, y'all are joining a widening audience for our show as we promote it more. And we're on Spotify if you want to hear old shows or you missed the show. But also, we're getting a lot more donations to the radio station. It's just action and intention. And I think
Right.
that's what really moves people to just say, I want to help these folks do what they do. Yeah. And, like we always make the pitch that you can be involved here. Just go to info@klbp or go to our website and you'll see there's a link there for become a volunteer if you want to join.
And the beauty is, we're just getting started.
It's the best part. You're going to hear
just
from us.
getting started.
And you'll
Right.
get to see us because hopefully we want to get in the street really soon.
Yep.
Do a live broadcast so you can see what we look like and hopefully not run away scared.
There are downsides to this.
I just can't wait for people to say, is that what you look like? As you do all the time. But one of the things that I'm thinking always about developing this city and developing it from my point of view is developing this radio station to represent the city.
Right.
And I spent most of my week doing that.
Right on.
Just because it's one of those things we just got to buckle down and get all the music we can in there, and it's a process.
Right.
So watching my diet also during that time because keep your energy up. I tend to be one of those people that will go 8 hours without eating if I'm in the middle of something. So I've been watching that. And also paying attention to other folks that are associated with the radio station or want to be. Like the folks over at Studio 111. We had our workshop there, producers workshop there earlier last month. And I met with them yesterday and talked to their CEO. So we'll get him on a future broadcast about some exciting ideas about the Shoreline Village area. Exciting stuff.
Oh, it'd be nice to modernize that.
Yeah,
that
and
spot a bit.
he's the guy. I already put a bug in his ear. Hey, you guys need a radio station that looks over at the water? Wouldn't it be great? Oh, that would be awesome. So that's kind of what my week has been about as we spend one last weekend in Mercury retrograde. It ends. Mike's laughing, but I'm telling you, my life has been a wreck.
Yeah.
I'm laughing on the inside.
Yeah, because and it always like something you're thinking it's over, and then something happens, like a missed appointment, or somebody calls you and cancels at the last minute, and you're already at the location. All that stuff and other agreements, banking stuff. Pay attention to your banking and insurance. This is a good time to make sure everything's in order and nobody's got a hold of it. That always scares me.
I only laugh because all of these things happen to me all the time.
Yeah, Mike is
Right,
a permanent
right.
Mercury retrograde.
And then you look it up and go, that's why. It's either Mercury retrograde or Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
By
Exactly.
Sunday. And I had the worst dreams. Never have dreams where I die. This past week, I died twice in one night.
Oh, my God.
Once was in an airline crash.
Yikes.
Which is the worst. And when we're spinning down to the ground, I wake up. I'm thinking, and then I go back to sleep and have another one and fall off a cliff. And I'm thinking, what's this about? Really, what's going on in my head that makes me think I'm about to die?
Generalized anxiety, I think is what they
I
call
think
that.
so.
Yeah.
And it's pressure from within. It really is because, as the president and GM of this operation, I'm the boss. So who's pushing me? Yeah. Why do I feel like it's natural to feel as if you have, to do this. You're guilty. I'm motivated by guilt. So if you want to get to me, just talk to my mother. Yeah. She's the queen of being able to motivate
Catholic background.
There you go.
Yeah.
That too.
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
Install the buttons early.
We talked last week about like making it and success, thinking about all the things that stand for what's important, that good job and the insurance and all that other stuff that goes with it. But I found something this past week. If those of you who are interested, and you've probably seen drones buzzing about your head,
Oh, yeah.
Fullerton College will now give you a degree in drone. Isn't that something? I love this.
In droning on?
No, that's for the instructors.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. This is about, actually, if you are interested in being there and get she's such a smarty pants.
Yeah, I thought she was referring to the show.
Here's it right from their website. The Fulton Drone Lab not only teaches students to become better and safer pilots, but it also teaches them the many application of drones in various industries. Well, this is going to be a big deal. And they've got 3 accreditations that you can get, degrees and certificates. There's courses you can register for their apprenticeship, which hey, if you're into video, get your drone license, because
if they're flying over your house, are you allowed to knock them out of the sky?
That's a good question.
That's my question.
Let's ask the people.
Is there a class in that?
Yeah,
it's a PE class.
Because I know I can see my great old uncle, right? If a drone flew over his head, he'd have the broom and be whacking at it.
I was at a friend's house last night, and we were watching the drone over her backyard.
Yeah, I was walking down 2nd Street, and there's a nutrition store right under the Belmont Gym or whatever there, and the guy was teaching his little kid how to fly it inside the store.
Wow.
So I'm thinking there's of course. Now there's going to be cars up there. There's going to be
they keep saying that.
Really, and we were talking in the dog park yesterday about these delivery vehicles, these little robotic ice coolers.
I've seen them in LA. Yeah.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them a couple times in Long Beach downtown.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
My favorite, and I wish I had my camera out, because this one was just knocking itself against the wall. Knock, knock, knock. And poor thing. Then all of a sudden it backs up and turns, and I found out that there's somebody that comes online, and they're really not in the country. They're in a different country manipulating this drone on our street to deliver a pizza.
Wow.
And of course, some of the folks were saying, well, how do you know? What happens if somebody comes up and gets your food? Well, there's a code on there you have to put in there to get your food. But if you really wanted to break into it, I would imagine it wouldn't be too
they're
hard.
saving money on hiring delivery people. Yeah. And then they're also saving money by hiring operators from other countries.
Exactly. So again, and that's all below the surface of the darkness there, known as the internet, because no matter what you do, I love this app that now says, this program wants to know if I can track you across the internet. My thought is no.
I say no every time, but I feel like it doesn't matter. It's happening
and
anyway.
Maybe that's true. Maybe they're laughing and going, it goes nowhere.
Oh, I feel so powerful saying, no, don't track me.
Don't you? And maybe that's the whole point.
Exactly.
1984 has now become 2024, and we're in it deep.
Yeah, it's the same thing as unsubscribing to an email, right?
Right.
Which is a complete joke. I still go through the process, and then I still get the crap.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They're probably laughing, going, "Oh my God, they file for it every time." If you're a data encoder, you could do that. But that's, to me, a degree in drone kind of sounds interesting, especially if you want to make a second, little side hustle.
Well, I do dig the big drone displays instead of fireworks.
I love that.
I kind of wish the fireworks are such a mess and a hazard and PTSD and all that. I love the drone light shows.
And most of the kids I want to talk to right now who are under maybe around 19, if you know how to hack into that, I just want that we're waiting for that to happen. The first drone show over a massive stadium, and then suddenly the images get a little bit of
Oh, that's Iron Man 2, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it already out there?
But
Oh God, I'm way behind the times. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. We have another song coming up with also a very special connection to one of the shows on the radio station. Why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, well, my show comes up on Sundays, 2 hours after, or actually an hour after we go off the air at 10 o'clock, the LA radio sessions. And this week we're going to feature a Long Beach artist, Kelly Fitzgerald, who has been around for ages, plays at a lot of different places around town, and I got to know her years ago. In fact, this is a clip from an early show she did with me. The show we're doing on this week is a Christmas show. It's her Christmas album. We feature her entire Christmas album, which is a mix of traditional Christmas songs and then Christmas songs that she wrote. Now, the song you were going to hear is not a Christmas song.
It's not from that album.
But it's a great song that she co-wrote with someone else that's got sort of related to religion, I guess. It's a song called God Hit on Me.
And it's right here on Mornings on the Beach. Stay right there. We're getting high with We're going to bake.
Doing what?
Sorry, hold on. That really didn't come out right. Hang on a second. Let me start it again. It's Mornings on the Beach. Stay right there. We're going to get baked with Snoop Dogg coming up.
Oh, boy.
We still haven't forgotten that.
These people, they are awful and horrifying, and I love them.
Well, I'm Danny Lemos right here.
And I'm Mike Stark.
Melanie Rae.
Over there. And, I love that song.
That's a great song. We were all tapping in here listening to
it's really great. We are getting ready for the holidays. We're almost there. What, 2 more weeks? No, even that, week and a half away. And if I send you in a panic, good. Get out there and get your shopping done.
Yeah.
Shop small, right? If you can, because support businesses in Long Beach. We're all about that. But if you'd like to get baked along with Snoop Dogg, we have it for you right here. And what am I talking about?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Snoop Dogg's cookie recipe, which is titled the Rolls Royce of Holiday Treats.
Oh.
Laid back.
Yes. And so what I will do is I'll put this up on our Facebook page, Mornings on the Beach. You can follow. I want to make them. They look delicious. And apparently they've got everything you would regularly put in a chocolate chip cookie, but he adds a half a cup.
We know what he adds.
Yeah, of course we know what he adds.
I'm looking at the ingredients. It's not on here. That part's not on here. Oh, it's about you do that before you start cooking. But apparently, it's got a half a cup of creamy peanut butter, which makes it distinctive. He says if you try it, it's not overwhelming, so it's not like a peanut butter cookie, but it tastes like a chocolate chip cookie with a little bit of peanut.
But you're saying that there's no cannabis in the recipe itself?
It doesn't appear that this is in allrecipes.com, so maybe they removed an item.
I think they know if you're reading his recipe, you know how to make the butter.
You're right. Exactly.
You know what? I would like something.
At least that's what I hear they do.
I don't know how to do that. And
I don't either.
Yeah, and well, we don't receive any federal funds. We can talk freely about this, but if we want to, we should be careful. No, it's about how you use it, right? Because, boy, you can really have yourself a nice little Christmas, a nice, easy Christmas. For one thing, the only time I've ever woken up hungover in the last 20 years is after I've had too much alcohol, not after I've had too many brownies or too many gummies. So there's that. Yeah. I noticed the other day we went out. I got to do my review of the Sky Room.
Yeah.
Right, I'm dying to hear about it.
Yeah.
First of all, we dressed up, so that's the important.
You did. You looked amazing.
Yeah.
In the pictures I saw.
We thought, let's go for it, and so we get up there, and it's beautifully redone. First of all, it's gorgeous, and one thing to notice immediately is how open it feels as opposed to the old Sky Room. And that's because now everything faces sort of out. So you can enjoy the view. And the windows go floor to ceiling, so you see everything. It's gorgeous. Got it. And before, if you remember, the banquettes were around the outside, facing the dance floor on the inside. So it's kind of an old nightclub setup, rather. It's no longer. They've taken the stage out and the dance floor. They do have banquet facilities up there, and it's a little pricey. The food's great. I loved it. It was, I had a pork dish that was just out of this world. My friend ordered the crab cake from the appetizer menu and was surprised to see it was the size of a quarter.
Well, crabs are small.
That was going to be his dinner. He thought, you have to do a little crab cake and a salad. So the salad, you could have shared between 4 people. The Caesar salad was on a platter. So he had a massive amount of salad and a teeny little crab cake for dinner. But they came by the table at the end. Would you like dessert? That's why we came. Bananas Foster flambe right at the table.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then the, what was the other one? Cherry's Jubilee. Right
lots of fire.
Oh, it's wonderful. Just great. And it's a little pricey.
Yeah. Well, special occasion.
It was a very special occasion. It was about the ticket, about 140 each at the end of the day with 2 drinks for everybody because, you got to have those. And then the next morning hangover from the 2 martinis. So
they were good drinks?
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you how good they were. We went with our friends, Harvey Keller and Ron Janus. And Harvey is 92. And we decided that we wanted to go see the bar at the top, Halo. So we go over, we remember that you had to get off the elevator and walk up a staircase to the top, right? So we say, oh, we got to walk up, Harvey. Harvey's 92, and he made that climb after 2 of his Jim's Bombays. He was happy, and we made it, and it's gorgeous. It opens up as soon as you get into the room. Oh,
wow.
my God, it's gorgeous. The views are the best ever. Then there's this sunken dance floor that goes the entire length of the building on the top floor, and then there's a bar at the other end.
Wow.
2 bars. It is going to be the happening place. And they did not pay me because I paid them.
Sounds like
that. Yeah. And then downstairs, they've got a restaurant called Emtuno that serves Italian, and then they have this hideaway sort of, if you like dark spaces, no windows, and you want to drink like that, there's a place for that. So it's really redone. And I thought it was going to be condos and hotel. It is not. It's all hotel. So, yeah,
Nice.
It's really good. Great, and what a great addition to downtown Long Beach. We can never afford to go back, but, but there you go. We're going to go over to Halo for some drinks. So that just looks like it might be a lot of fun
Cool.
up there. So, yeah, that's one of those things. How about you? Experienced any part of our beautiful city this past week? Mike's always at either a concert, at a restaurant.
Yeah, this last week's been kind of slow.
Are you getting ready?
Yeah, getting ready.
Right, for the end of the year.
I was
Right.
at singer-songwriter night at the Wicked Wolf last night.
How did that go?
That was lovely. It was really a friendly environment, very woman-friendly, because it's hard to hang out in a bar as a woman, because
I
sometimes
agree.
you really just want to hang out in a bar.
Yeah.
So this had that vibe, just real comfortable,
Cool.
great music.
And who
Real
brought you
friendly.
up? Somebody invited you in? Was a friend singing?
Chad Bishop, yeah, when he was hosting it.
Oh, he reached out to us this past week about his new EP. So maybe we'll invite him to come in and
He's the
play
right
with us.
guy.
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
him in.
Great guy. I love it. So, yeah, that's one of those things. Here in Long Beach. Mornings on the beach right here. And, this time of year, you would think that you're being marketed to by everything on the planet. Have you heard about the latest trend, which is to advertise to you from the water at the beach?
No.
This is happening in Florida now, so you know it's only going to be a matter of time before it comes here. So beer companies have been advertising off the coast of Miami, Florida, pulling big billboards on boats.
Oh, jeez.
Just one place. Just give me one place where you're not going to put that in my face.
Well, it's been on airplanes pulling signs.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it seems like it'd be more intrusive if it's close to you, And
Yeah.
besides, it's a billboard. It doesn't belong in the ocean.
Well, and it's on everything we look at.
Yeah.
Advertising. It's,
I mean, these enormous boards at night,
Yeah.
if you drive at night, these big neon suckers, and I'm thinking, wow. I thought that was supposed to be, you're not supposed to distract people when they're driving.
Right.
But I guess not. That's done. But this big trend in advertising also carries over into, if you want to understand the marketing of cannabis products, which I'm sure you do from your cards and letters.
It sells itself.
They're not, and that's the topic of this article that I found in Forbes.com, talking about the marketing of cannabis, how you're not seeing it at the holidays. And why wouldn't that be? Why wouldn't you think? What would be the first reason you would think they wouldn't?
Well, it's still not federally legal.
There you go. Number one, it's not federally legal, so there might be a connection to the parent company of the radio station or the television or the magazine.
Right.
People are just saying, let's do clear of that.
Or their banks. I've heard there's problems too if you're getting profiting from the sale of cannabis and your bank is not in a state where pot's legal.
And
that your money can be seized.
Yeah, and I would think that that's something they could figure out. We've got bigger problems. Figure that one out.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, like Melanie said jokingly, no, you don't have to market it.
It's drugs.
And then people find it.
Yeah, I get a text message from my dispensary, as you can see
Oh,
here.
you did just now.
Yeah, I was in the dispensary last week for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there in the dispensary at 9 a.m. listening to Christmas carols. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what have we become?
Yeah.
It feels like a Mac store. I'm buying drugs and I'm listening to Christmas carols.
They would never believe it. The young that are born just about this time,
instead
would
of
never believe it.
Instead of having to meet a guy in a dark alley somewhere.
Remember?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, first time, yeah.
I lived in Hacienda Heights, and I'd be arranging to meet people in the alleyways in Hollywood, driving 35 miles to Hollywood to meet somebody in an alleyway. You had no idea. And then they would hand you a foil packet, and you say, you hope to God this is what you wanted.
Right.
Oh my God. And nothing stronger than cannabis. I'm not talking about the other drugs, which are readily available.
Sure.
And the name pusher was earned by these guys who would push. Hey, you want some of this too?
Right.
First one's free.
And my nephew, there you go. My nephew was, by the way, this past weekend, was showing me the, I guess it would be called the price chart or the menu items for all the different drugs he was able to get. I didn't ask him where. I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
But there it was, right on his iPad. He's showing, here you are, and there were drugs listed on there. There was cocaine on there.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. And I thought, now, would I even want to put something I bought from a stranger that was called cocaine in these fentanyl crazy days? Would I even want to?
If you were addicted to cocaine, you would.
You might, yeah.
That's how it goes.
Thank God I'm not addicted to cocaine. But yeah, it's just amazing to me how how different it is.
Completely.
In such a short amount of time. We're not talking about this decades.
I remember a few years ago when I first went into one of these new dispensaries, and I was met at the door by someone that handled the transaction and had an iPad, and it was like you're going into a high-end boutique of some kind.
And there was somebody who used to, when you met somebody on the street, he'd open something, it would be his raincoat, and point inside.
Hopefully.
Hey, one of these.
Hopefully you'd be into what he was showing you.
Things were so much more dangerous back then and so much more fun.
In a lot of ways, you're right.
Tell me there wasn't an adrenaline rush to going to buy your pot on the street.
Oh, for
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, there was something, and you made it back. Your life was right. Now I'm in, right? I love that.
Crazy.
For those of you, we mentioned it last week, and a friend stopped me on the street, talked about our story about iPhones and updating and AI and all that stuff.
I
And
haven't done the update yet. Since you said that, I'm afraid.
I'm not doing the 18.2 because
I've just been later.
I'm going to wait for all the people to complain.
Well, and eventually, though, they force you, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, your phone won't work.
And it's the same thing the way they do
Or
with,
you got to get a phone like Mike's.
Yeah.
That nobody can figure out.
Right.
He's working on a Motorola brick at the moment, folks, in case you don't want to know.
A flip brick. Thank you very much.
Where in the world do you think is the city with the best view? Now, before I say that.
Of what? Best view of what?
View of the skyline from above. Talk about being particular. This is available at Travel Magazine, thetravelmagazine.com. And I found it because I thought, where are we? Because Long Beach is beautiful from if you're a drone flying in from the ocean. Educated
drone.
It's beautiful. Have you seen some drone shots that are available? Man, they're just gorgeous. So I thought we got to be on there. Nope, we're not. LA then, because of its dramatic new skyline, which is also something that's changed in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Nope, we're not on there. So where do you think in all the cities of the world, is there a U.S. city on this list? And this is the top 50. So I scanned the list because I had to go all the way to number 17 before I found New York City, New York, right? Is there only U.S. city in the top 25, right? The only one. Other cities, Amsterdam, the Netherlands, which I agree. Queenstown, New Zealand, never seen it, but apparently. Barcelona, by the way, it was breathtaking, the view of the city skyline. So it's on there at number 11. Havana, Cuba is number 13 on the list.
What about Paris?
Yeah, it's not on here, not on the top 25.
Wow.
Number 5, we'll do the top 5. Kiev, Ukraine, right? They say that's gorgeous along the Dnieper River. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hong Kong, China, number 4. And then moving up the list some more to number 3, we have got Florence, Italy. And number 2, Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, I've been there.
Have you?
Twice, yeah.
And that is supposedly a gorgeous skyline.
There's a river right through it, too, which adds a lot of depth.
The well-known cosmopolitan city in the country of Thailand. The rest of the country is primarily made up of small villages, so it doesn't take much to have.
The rest of it's green. The rest of the country is green.
And number 1, may I have a drum roll, please?
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Taipei, Taiwan. the best city seen from above.
Wow.
So who knows?
It's very clean.
Yeah.
It's very clean for a big
I'm
city.
thinking none of our cities made it really. Not even Long Beach. We have the Queen Mary. Come on. Oh, well, there we go. It's Mornings on the Beach. I want to tell people who we are. I'm Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
I'm Melanie Rae.
And we are here on your weekend, every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully you are with us and enjoying yourself. And you're about ready to get out and have some fun. Because we got some stuff coming up in Long Beach this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you go to the Taco Fest on Dia de los Muertos that weekend?
No.
It was right here on the promenade. It was phenomenal. First of all, if you wanted to do the whole experience and taste everything that was in the competition, then you paid a certain fee, and you also got alcohol included. But you could walk in and just buy from every stand that was there if you wanted to individually, and also alcohol. That's important to these things. However, coming up this weekend, today and tomorrow, will be the Tamale Festival. It's being held at the Long Beach City College Pacific Coast campus on the corner of PCH and Orange. Yeah, and so go by. It's going to be the place if you're into food and tamales. You into tamales?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever made any?
No.
Oh, that's a lot. No.
Yeah, no.
That's a whole
we
thing.
We could teach you. We could teach you in the Mornings on the Beach kitchen. We'll have our kitchen cooking segment. I'd love to teach people how to make tamales. It's so much fun. But that's coming up, and the International Tamales Festival in Long Beach. And yes, they are delicious. I judged a chili contest one time in Orange County, and people still come up to me to this day and say, I remember you from that contest. My aunt was the winner. Bizarre.
Wow.
And I was in costume as Chewy from La Puente. They still knew who I was. And then there's the third annual Kwanzaa experience. That's happening in Long Beach this weekend as well. And that's down at the Doris Topsy Elvord Community Center at Houghton Park on Saturday from 10 to 3. So if you're listening on Sunday, it's a memory. And they will highlight the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And I had to read about it because I don't know what those are. But here they are: unity, self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Those are the 7 main principles of Kwanzaa. It sounds like we maybe want to run a country like that.
Right.
Oh,
Solid.
And it was founded right here in Long Beach.
Really?
Really?
Dr. Malina Kalarenga, who works at the chair of the Africana Studies Department at California State University, Long Beach.
Wow.
He founded it in 1966, and he was part of the Black Resistance Movement, and Kwanzaa has since grown into a nationwide tradition. Started right here in the 562.
Nice.
How do you like
Isn't
that?
that something? Yeah. No, it's
Back
really
then
great.
it was 213 or 310.
It was actually, yeah.
Right, it's probably
Yeah.
2 and 3.
And looking out, there's all kinds of stuff coming into downtown Long Beach, by the way. If you're, concerts and, Joe Coy was just here, and we just got an invitation before we started taping the show for Ira Glass, who's appearing at the Carpenter Center this week.
I love Ira Glass. I forgot about that he's there.
You remember Isaac Svensson?
Yes.
He has an extra ticket. You might want to get in touch with him. Yeah, he bought it. He stopped by to see if we could, wanted to take it. We should have given it away on this program, except it'd be 2 days too late. Exactly. We taped this program in advance, but it's Mornings on the Beach, and we're getting ready to close out the year with our internship class. These guys have been incredible. The stuff they've done is their final project, which is we asked them to create a video, 1 minute in length, about something they're proud of in Long Beach. And we'll display them on our social media for KLBP. You'll also see them posted on longbeachpost.com because the internship is a cooperative effort between the two. And I'm so proud of them. I mean, it's what we do. Finally, we got output from some program that we're doing.
Yeah.
And now it's time to turn the corner and look at education. Because we need to start getting more people involved and educating them how to do this from all the different ways. Because there's even the nitty gritty, like how to protect your own intellectual property, something we'd love to do a workshop on, and how to make sure you're not sued for using somebody else's internet, which is probably the smartest.
All good information.
Yeah, all good information you need to know, and offered to the community, not just for if you're going to do a radio show, but if you're also making your own mixtapes and maybe profiting from them, you got to know about sharing other people's property.
Right.
So that's one of the things we can do, and that's going to be our emphasis for the new year coming up here on the show. one of our services that we offer you, the community of Long Beach. And I'm looking at I don't have anything else to talk about.
And that's the show.
Do we still have time?
We've got, let's have a look right now. We got about another 6 minutes. Yeah, so let's have it. What do we do?
Well, you mentioned earlier that everybody's gone shopping, and Melanie
Oh my gosh.
had gone shopping prior to coming here. So
That's right.
what was the experience?
It
like?
sucked.
Okay,
Where were you?
That sums
it was
it up.
fine. I just went to Ross.
Oh, dear. First,
Yeah. Well, because I'm down here downtown, and I thought, I'll just stop by and I'll get a couple stocking stuffers. And first, now there's practically a velvet rope to get in.
Yeah,
you have to stop
wait.
in the door, and the security
Really?
says, he's got some script. He says real fast, blah, 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 safety, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, whatever. And then he lets me in, and there's like 1 million people there and 2 checkers, and then you're waiting in line with everybody. And then there's some people that still don't understand how it works. Like you waited in line for half an hour, so when you get there, like have your wallet ready.
yes.
Have your stuff on the
That is
table.
so
Another pet peeve.
aggravating.
And it's like,
Another pet peeve.
Yeah.
so yeah, 2 people, but in front of me were like, oh, no. I'm
Yeah.
going, were you kidding?
Yeah, no.
So that
Get out of
was,
my way.
Other than that, I'm a shop local. I'm a retro row shopper
Me
because
too.
there's lots of fun, funky stuff.
Songbird.
Absolutely,
That's all I'll
Songbird.
say.
Yeah. And Gusto, if you're showing
Absolutely.
if you're showing up at Christmas parties, the loaf of their bread,
yeah.
I show up with that all the time,
Yeah.
and it's like the best $8 investment
Absolutely.
you're ever going to make for a holiday
Or bring
party.
some of their pastries. We went last Saturday and tried them out. Oh, they were so good.
Yeah.
Great places along Retro Row right here in Long Beach. And like I said, in a future show, we're going to get to the story of that recreation of that neighborhood. It is a great story that I want to share with you on the show. However, that new thing about waiting outside of Ross is about loss prevention.
Absolutely.
That's what they're doing. They don't want too many people climbing in there and shoplifting all at once.
People must shoplift slowly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Take your
let's make a game out of it. Let's invite you to come in and shoplift, and our job is to try and stop you on the way out.
Well, that's the joke, is that they can't stop you.
They can't.
They can't. So
Oh.
I had a friend that worked at home, and people would stuff carts with obviously more lamps than a person needs, and they just run out the door, and you're not allowed to.
We
to
watched
stop
it
them.
happen right in front of us in real time at Target. So we're all in line on a wonderful Sunday afternoon, and then next thing we notice, there's this guy who's walking along the line like he's late. So he's got his arms full of stuff, cereal boxes. He had a whole fresh pie in his hand, and he's walking, and we think, what's going on? Did his wife send him back for a few things? Because that's what it looked like. He goes to the front of the line, then he turns and he looks at the cashier, and they, by the way, recognize this guy. So they call the security guy over, who comes and watches him as he exits into the parking lot and leaves.
Right.
What the heck? I'm telling you, if that was my store, I'd be tackling you. And I know that's going to get me into trouble. But how come we can't stop people? Because there we
Right.
are in line. I said, by the way, everybody, our prices are going up because of that.
Yeah.
Because that's allowed. I don't understand. I want to invite a legal expert to tell me, why can't they stop it's theft. It's clearly shoplifting. It's not paid for. Why is that not?
Well, I mean, you can't. If you
people-
block them, if you don't let them out, it's kidnapping. You know what I mean? It's all this weird.
But then again, you're taking my stuff.
Yeah, for
Shouldn't
sure.
I be able to defend my own property? Because I'm telling you, the Korean lady down the street, and I don't want to be racist, but she is. She protects her stuff like nobody's business.
Right.
I saw her slap a kid's hand, wham, like that. I mean, it was just like old school. Love that. It felt good. Come on, don't.
Can you trip them
I don't know.
as they're making a break for it?
And
that
what
could
about?
just
Did
be
they turn
whoops.
around and get a lawyer and sue you?
Does it have to do with the law that they can only prosecute if you've stolen a certain amount?
Or maybe it's not worth it?
Well,
But
that and you have
still.
employees making minimum wage, and how much of a fight are they supposed to put
Sure.
up for a
Well, that
company's
I
product?
guarantee. I wouldn't, if it was my, no, it's the store's responsibility.
Right.
And then they hire a guy in a uniform to stand at the front door. What does he do?
I know.
What?
The guy at Ross looked like he stepped out
Yeah.
of combat.
I'm the guy at
It was
Vaughn's.
like, okay.
You know, God love you if you're listening to the guy at Vaughn's, but I dare you to chase me. And I'm old. But we've come around first circle in another show because we talked about the loss of society, what's
right.
bringing society down. It's the little stuff. Don't ignore it around you. I pick up litter in my street because somebody's got to.
Right.
And that's not saying that you should do that, but that's my little effort to keep my neighborhood from going under the avalanche of
I have the
litter.
Go Long Beach app that I hit all over town to come pick up couches or whatever.
And they're at the office. I can see them looking at the screen going, oh, it's her again.
Oh, they know me. Absolutely.
My neighbor's one of those.
But you know, in my alley, if you leave one thing, if somebody leaves a chair and you wait too long, somebody else leaves a table. And one time, I swear there was a whole living room set up, and these guys like hanging out on recliners and stuff. And it's like, wait a minute.
It is time for us to make our way out of here again. And we are going to
Something else.
Shut up. No. Shut up.
You got some editing to do here.
Yeah. I don't mind. I'll do that in 10 seconds.
And nobody said, beep.
It's time for us to make our way out of here. What better way to make our way than with some Grateful Dead for your weekend morning? For Mornings on the Beach, I'm Danny.
I'm Mike.
I'm Melanie Rae.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Deep breaths.